Okay, this article is about a huge mess that's going on in England and America, and we'll focus on KFC and a program called on the telly called Eggheads. All right, so Eggheads is a true story about a group of eggs, and they're the heads. Actually, they head the Christian church. Can you believe it? Yes, they do. They also brought in by the upper classes these group that are called Eggheads for a very good reason. They're dire. They're dire. You know, utterly appalling people with very bad morale. Appalling around kids. They shouldn't be in England. They're a huge risk to kids. Okay, they've been given the name Eggheads, and it's correct. Right now, the Eggheads they own KFC. Yes, they do, and it's owned your KFC chicken shops up and down the country that are not actually KFC, but they're a sort of subsidiary of KFC in the chicken shops, and they're run by these dark Indians that are planning to eat British people like they were chicken. Right, that's what your corner shop uh, chicken shop is all about. Right, they're the corner shops, right? The chicken shops are your corner shops, and they're eggheads. They run the Christian church, and they're trying to eat the British people. So how did they get to run the fucking Christian church like that? Well, because the upper classes hate the middle and working classes. They've brought in all the people that hate white people or middle and working class people. The people that hate them the most are Africans and the dark Indians, and the upper classes have brought Africans and dark Indians into Europe and England and America for the purpose of eating Americans and British people as they would like chickens. So that's what your chicken shop on all the high streets. That's what they're doing. Okay. Now the eggheads, they are called the eggheads. That's who they are. Right. They're illegal immigrants. They're not come here legally. They're not here legally. They've got in very bad premeditation intentions for this country. They need to prove very soon why they're in this country and provide 5 pieces of evidence why they're in this country. And if they can't, they're going to be deported because of all the crimes that are also involved in. It's premeditation that ends in disaster for the British Queen's people, all organised by the eggheads that are also all the dark Indian corner shops and the chicken shops. All right, so those immigrants in those chicken shops, they're set to be deported very soon because of criminal behaviour. We know that these chicken shops are also the Ian Huntley gangs. They're working with Category A prisoners, and they're killing Charlene Downs, Rachel Nickel, Anne Bowman. Can you see the eggheads killing all these beautiful girls? Yes or no? Right now, um, the eggheads are your chicken shops, your dark Indians, and they are the dark Indian corner shops, also called Spa. Right, Spa. When they mean Spa, they mean kill children. The Ian Huntley gangs are the corner shops. Yes, they are. They're actually led by the corner shops. Ian Huntley is organised crime led by the corner shops. They are known as the eggheads for a fucking good reason. They're the biggest eggs you'll ever see. Okay, because they're the 550 Club. The eggheads are the 550 Club. That's a 50-year-old homosexual with a 5-year-old boy. He's trying to anally rape him. All right, he's an egghead. He's then telling other British people that they've done something wrong. They're into women, and that's something wrong, they're saying. So this stupid little troglodyte from the 14th century is running his chicken shops, and he's planning to eat British people as chicken because we celebrate women in this country. Okay, the dark Indians, the Africans that don't celebrate women, and they specifically hate India. All right, now the dark Indian corner shops, they are also psychiatry. But how are they put into psychiatry? How the hell did the corner shop guy get into the hospitals and into psychiatry? The upper classes, the bad side of the upper classes, have put them there. All right, and then while they're there, they're then working in labs, and they've created COVID. So the eggheads, corner shops, and your kebab and your chicken shops, they've actually created COVID. That's killed 5 million people in the last few years. Okay, so eggheads is an understatement. Is You need to put eggheads to the power of 20, and they're the biggest criminals you'll ever see. right? So these eggheads have created things like Alzheimer's disease, obesity, AIDS, dementia. None of these diseases were around 100 years ago. They weren't around. Now elderly people are dying like you've never seen because of these eggheads that are running the chicken shops that are eating the British people as they were chickens. Now the Dark Indians created COVID, and they also the Bangladeshis. Now the Banglas and the Dark Indian corner shops, they lead a group. They actually head the Christian church and the gay community. And the Banglas and gays in Soho, they did 7/7 bombings and then blamed the Pakistanis. The Bangladeshis are kind of a very dark Indian group. With the dark Indians, they are the chicken shops, the Banglas. The chicken shops eating British people as their chickens. They've done the 7/7 bombings and then blamed the Pakistanis because they're not like they're not hating the white people. They're not killing the white people like the dark Indians are and the African men are. African men are killing the white people. KFC is African and the gay community. Okay, and it's chicken shops. They're killing the excelled world. Okay, all right. Now the Bangladeshis uh, with with the gays and the Greens, the Northern Irish, they did 7/7 to bomb the Pakistanis out of England. The Pakistanis didn't do 7/7 bombings, had nothing to do with it at all. It was all edited in by the Bangladeshis that are authored the whole 7/7 bombings. They are known as the eggheads. You'll see this TV program on the telly that explains who's done the 7/7 bombing, eggheads, to attack Pakistanis. Right, and then the Irish people are under attack because the Banglas, the Dark Indians, want to turn the Irish people to Celts into Africans so that they're completely dark and they lose their culture, they lose their spirituality and ancient history. Okay, so that's the eggheads at work right there. They're also the 550 Club, uh, a homosexual paedophile group, no girls allowed, no women allowed. Okay, so it's just vile. Okay, just vile is another word for them. All right, so these criminals, the eggheads, they also run psychiatry and the chicken shops, and they run psychiatry. Chicken shops are your psychiatry department too. They're eating the British people. Psychiatry uses African witch herbs. You'll find that their psychiatry drugs give people the shakes, give people Parkinson's disease. You have several levels of Parkinson's disease. At the very low end, you've got ADHD and irritable syndrome, and then that just increases to the point of akathisia, which is extreme Parkinson's disease that was spiked on Michael J. Fox a few years ago. Now the poor, brilliant actor is suffering deep pain and anxiety because of fucking eggheads that are getting away with their crimes. They're running the grocery shops in America and nobody's shooting them down. All right, that's an ill country right there when they don't do that, okay? Because you're dying and you must protect yourself and you must not allow anything like an egghead to get in your way. You're certainly not an egghead like they are. All right, so you'll not be defeated by that and you will fight it until they go. That's a fact. You've got to do that, right? Because this egghead group is the worst criminal group in the world. They've just killed 5 million and they're still working in your shops, insulting the British people still as they go right now. After killing 5 million, they've already killed. So the eggheads are the Bangladeshis as well, and the corner shops and the chicken shops, and they also run psychiatry. How do they get into psychiatry? The upper classes have put them there because the upper classes hate the middle and working classes, and they're trying to find a kill method. So they use pygmies, descendants of pygmies, who are cannibals. They brought a whole cannibal sect into Britain and America and France to eat the British people. Let's look at the chicken shops. Are they saying eating Brit? They are. Right under your nose, and then they're killing Anne Bowman, Rachel Nickel, the Southport murders, the Nottingham murders, Maddie McCann, Ian Huntley gangs. It's all the chicken shops, my friend. Okay. Right now, that chicken shop, my friend, is also the psychiatry department in Britain and America. How fucking rogue they are. Right. Now, the film Silence of the Lambs is actually made and written by the MI5, and it's a secret story. actually going on, and it's a true story. Silence of the Lambs is a true story about psychiatry. That is the star of that film, played by Anthony Hopkins. And then you've got Jodie Foster, who plays the FBI cop, who is involved in, trying to stop the pain and anxiety and anguish that the psychiatry department, eggheads, are pulling on America and Europe and England. And the film Silence of the Lambs is about how the eggheads, the chicken shops, are killing the kids. Lambs. All right, so let's never forget that the Silence of the Lambs is actually a story about the upper classes that are the Law Society. So the Law Society are killing lambs. So the next thing that has to occur is the silence of the law, okay? Because they're guilty and they're not to touch kids, especially when they're the 550 club. The law is the 550 club. That's 50-year-old homosexuals anally raping 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old boys. It's the 550 club. Silence of the Lambs is about the 550 club, and they're killing little girls, little boys. They're not gay, so they get killed. So you can see how sick the eggheads are. All right, now the eggheads are the 550 club. They also own the farming industry. Right, so that's also the sugar industry, and they own Pear Drops. They created the name Pear Drops. Okay, so what is Pear Drops? What is Pear Drops? Pear Drops has been around for a while, right? Certainly since the 70s, right? So Pear Drops is a well-known sweet in Britain. It's a favourite sweet in Britain. It's especially made to be very popular, so that everybody knows about what Pear Drops are, but you'll never know what it really is. Why pear? Why drops? Okay, so Pear Drops is referring to the farming industry that make Pear Drops. Okay, so the farming industry are also known as the Eggheads 550 Club. Right, the farming industry is actually owned by South America. Yes, it is. They own South America. The dark Indian Banglers and the chicken shops, they are also South America. That is mostly black. Okay, and they've killed all the Catholics. The Catholics they premeditate their murder in the next 100 years. There will be no Catholics left in South America unless they do something about this. Right now, the Pear Drops is a story about how the eggheads, how the chicken shops in Britain, the upper classes, the gays, they're planning to pear drop thousands of South American blacks, paraglide them across England and Europe, drop them into the UK to put British people into chicken cages and then to eat them and kill them. Okay, they want to turn all the pretty women completely black, dark, very dark, like the Banglers. The Banglers did 7/7 to attack the Pakistanis. So like the Banglers are making the white people, white women go out with blacks only. And this is the dream of the Banglers, the dark Indians, aka the chicken shops, the eggheads. Right, they've also done COVID. The eggheads have done COVID. Banglers in the corner shops have just done COVID, killing 5 million people. Right, now the Pear Drops is about how the church, the Christian church, is run by the corner shops, and that they're planning to drop thousands of South American blacks into Britain, drop them here where they will kill and raid and steal our properties, banks, everything, whole country, and kill the people, a mass slaughter. I've seen a drawing, a painting by the head of the Christian church, and his painting is a big secret, but I got to see it. And he's the head of the Christian church, and he's done this drawing, a painting where there's a church there, but it's burning down, and all the Christians are being killed. And that's the head of the Christian church. They're run by the chicken shops, okay? And they're planning Pear Drops. Pear Drops is the farming industry and the Christian church. South Americans coming to Britain, the blacks, going to paraglide into Britain and kill us all. They're going to break into our windows, steal our property, kill our children, everything. They're absolute monsters. Egghead to the power of 20, okay? They're so vile. The vilest people on earth that you've ever seen in history. Okay, so I'm an important person to the Pakistanis and to the Hindus and yoga people, and I'm Pakistanis number one. I'm also called the next Gandhi. I'm accepted by the Gandhi family. They know who I am, and they say welcome, and we like you a lot, and we know who you are. We've heard your essays and speeches, and you're in the Gandhi family. And I'm also Pakistani's number one because Pakistanis are here. Actually, British people don't know why Pakistanis are here. Well, they're actually here because of the eggheads. Eggheads need to be dealt with, my friend. They've just killed 5 million people. They've done the 7/7 bombings and 9/11. And the 7/7 bombings they're blaming Pakistanis had nothing to do with 7/7 bombings. Okay, eggheads done that. The corner shops, your dark Indians, your Bangladeshis. All right, now, and then they're planning pair drops. Your corner shops are planning to pair drop massive amounts of Africans, blacks, into the UK to kill British women like Anne Bowman, Rachel Nickell, and then their kids too. Holly Wells, Jessica Chapman. There are no girls allowed group. Eggheads are a 550 club, homosexuals. Right. So the pair drops is actually a farming industry, and then the farming industry is run by the upper classes, or the bad side of the upper classes, actually South America. That's why you have black and white cows. They're South American. They're representing South America. And England is going the same way. They've got plans to pair drop thousands of blacks in to turn all the women here completely black, is what they plan. They plan to kill all white presence in Europe, in England, which is just totally abhorrent idea. They're abhorrent people. I mean, I can't put words into how much I hate those people. I'm allergic to corner shops, for instance. I never go there. All right, now, with the Ukraine, actually, Ukraine is the farming industry. That's correct. They are also pair drops. Ukraine, Zelensky, is pair drops. He is the 550 club, but even so, he's pair drops. He's saying Britain is a pair. So what's British Army should never support the Ukraine. However, we need to stabilise the area, and going to Ukraine is very, very important. It's a very good idea. Right, so the Ukraine is the pair drops. They're planning to pair drop thousands of South American blacks into the UK to kill British people, all led by the farming industry that runs Zelensky. All right. Now Zelensky plans to invade in the pair drop attack. He plans to invade Germany, Italy, UK, France, Sweden, and Spain. And then there's America as well. They're also going to get accosted by these pair drops. They've already had a history of serious amount of drops coming from South America. They come into America to then kill Americans. And also Jamaican American culture too is getting destroyed by this pair drop system, which is more like Africanization, and it's led by Banglas that are known as the eggheads that want to turn everyone completely black, and they hate the Pakistanis because they're not black. All right. So now that's the Ukraine. They plan to invade Italy, Germany, UK, France, Sweden, and Spain, and America. Isn't that a bit too much, guys? Right. Now with the Banglas, they know I'm Pakistani's number one. Right, and I'm also Hindu's number one. I'm also Irish people's lucky charm. I'm also our kid of Manchester. I'm also son of some very established people, and they're very powerful in the establishment in England. And England's under attack, as I say, by the chicken shops that were long here before were in England long before the Pakistanis arrived. So when the Pakistanis arrived, it's actually a reaction to the eggheads, that we need to get rid of the eggheads out of Britain or else England's finished. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now they brought in the Pakistanis to alleviate the problem. So this is not understood by British people, but soon it will be. Okay, especially we'll start off with the fact that 7/7 bombing was not done by Pakistanis that are actually here to help England. We want to assist, okay, the education system. We want to keep it safe, and we want to stop criminality inside the schools. We want to improve the quality of care in the hospitals by getting rid of the eggheads in the hospitals that are creating COVID to kill 5 million people. Do you not think they need to be cleared out? So if you say no, then then get rid of the Pakistanis and keep your witchcraft and die in the cauldron yourself too in a few years. So if you don't want to die in the cauldron, then look for other people to help you right now. And that's why you have Pakistanis in this country. So you be hostile to them, they will be hostile to you because they're actually brought here to help you. All right, so they're doing some terrible things that's reported in the news. I don't know what to add to ascertaining with this, but all I can say is the intentions of Pakistanis in the country is to alleviate the British girls of the eggheads that are planning to put and kill them in a COVID attack, in another COVID attack, in a third COVID attack, a fourth, fifth, and sixth COVID attack, then dementia, then obesity, and a whole load of egghead attacks to poor British people. And we need assistance. Okay, that's where Pakistan is coming. Right, so now the problems that the eggheads are caused fundamentally in the UK are in the councils. The eggheads are running the councils, destroying Britain. Is England not dying right now? It's nothing to do with Pakistanis, it's everything to do with eggheads. All right, they are running the chicken shops, they are running the Christian church, they are lying to people, they're planning to kill all the Christians. I've seen a painting done by the very central group that run the Christian church, and I can see non-stop blood and people running out of the Christian church, being stabbed to death, and the church is burning down. Did you know that that's what the Christian church is all about? That's their theme. Let's look at their chicken shops. Let's look at the eggheads and what other people say about them. And let's look at the 7/7 bombings. Is that a kind event? No, it's not. Right, now, the Banglers, they know I'm Pakistani's number one, and they're the corner shop with Banglers. And they tried to firebomb my flat. They threatened to firebomb. They showed me a tube with a whole load of crystal explosive materials inside. They showed it to me, shoved it in my face. They were Bangladeshis, they were from Beeston, and they said we're going to bomb my flat because I'm a musician. And I had to leave 1 week later in an emergency evacuation. Like, I was going to get my they were already attacking me quite a lot previously, and now they were going to bomb my flat. The Bangladeshis are attacking the Pakistanis. Right, they blamed the Bangladeshis have done the 7/7 bombings with the upper class gay community, and then blame Pakistanis so that all the British women can only go out of Africans now. All right, so they're planning to. The Bangladesh are trying to separate white British men away from the British girls, and then the Bangladeshi upper class trying to mix them with the blacks, and then put the men in prison or kill them. Right, I find it so disturbing. I'm sorry that I'm not excellent at this. All right, so right now, just to end this article, we need to look at the war in Russia and Ukraine. So, did you know that Ukraine is actually led by England? The upper classes in England, the eggheads, are putting Zelensky. Zelensky is the farming industry. Pear drops from South America. COVID, my friends, COVID. They've done COVID. Zelensky is Mr. COVID. He's also Mr. 550, right? And then now he's led by the upper class gays, and they're killing Russia because Russia's not led by the gay community. Certainly England is, and Russia isn't. Now England's at war with Russia. Only because they're not led by gays. They accept the gays. They don't hurt the gays. They accept them. But they're not led by the gays, and the gays in Britain are finding this offensive for some reason. Why? Well, the gays are half the world away, and they need to shut their mouth as fucking soon as possible. So your corner shops, your dark Indian corner shops, and your chicken shops on every high street, they're actually the Pear Drop group. They're planning to Pear Drop millions and thousands of blacks from South America into Britain to kill the white people because there's an indictment system going on here where the 550 Club is accusing Britain of liking women. And now Pear Drops is coming our way. Guys, what do you think of this? Like, because I find this deeply disturbing, right? So I love women. All right. So more about Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine is the farming industry, the Pear Drops. Okay, Pear Drops the biggest enemy to Britain I've ever seen. Could you imagine that? Thousands of blacks paragliding into Britain. So it's a true it's a true motivation. It's actually reality. Okay? Pear drops is the Ukraine. It's the farming industry. Pear drops. That's the Ukraine. They also plan to pear drop blacks into Italy, en masse, by the way. Italy, into Germany, into the UK, into France. Already, they're doing that. Right, into France, into Spain, and into Sweden. Ukraine is at war mostly with Sweden. Okay? Actually, Ukraine is also mostly at war with Germany, especially the German women. They're stunning. They're under attack when Ukraine attacks Russia. So stabilization in Ukraine is absolutely essential because the psychopath Zelensky, he needs to be surrounded, absolutely surrounded, right? And he's not allowed to emphasize anything to do with eggheads without being evicted from Ukraine and a new leader put in that will help the Ukraine instead of killing the Ukraine with the most stupid nonsense that you could ever possibly imagine. Who could imagine that something like this is going on from your corner shops, from your chicken shops? The silence of the lambs, they're the eggheads. They're now the Ukraine. Leave Russia alone. Leave Italy alone. Leave Germany, UK, France, Spain, and Sweden alone. Leave America alone. Leave Northern India alone. Okay, leave China alone. Leave the Muslims alone. Okay, so Banglas, they are not actually Muslims, the Banglas. They are celebrating the death of Muslims. Yeah, they claim to be Muslims, a Muslim country, but actually they are eating shit. They have a tradition of eating shit, the Bangladeshis, in corner shops. Okay, and that eating shit regularly and piss and female menstrual blood is actually them saying they hate God. So how are they Muslim? Those corner shops are anti-God. They've done 7/7 to attack God and Pakistanis and blame the Pakistanis and God for the 7/7 bombings. But really, the bombings and the monstrous behaviour in history is always coming from the people that hate God, that hate Jesus. You know, the Chinese are atheists, but they don't hate Jesus. Okay, Jesus was spiritual, man. Chinese are very spiritual. Okay, that's almost the next best thing to God, my friends. It's up there in the stratosphere. That's where God is, and so is spirituality. They're in the same place. All right, so the Banglas are the worst anti-God people on the planet. They're killing Hindus in the brutal way right now. Thousands and hundreds are getting brutally killed, burnt alive, all types of horrendous behaviour, only because the Banglas are eating shit and they hate God. India is the mother of God country. It's a God's country. Christianity comes from Krishna. That's from India. We'll talk more about that later. Right, so the Ukraine is actually led by England and the gay community. England is run by gays. Yes, it is. They own McDonald's, KFC, all the chicken shops, mass immigration into France. The gays are running the pear drops. They're the 550 Club. And now they've put in Zelensky, who's the farming industry, actually led by Britain. And then now these upper classes gays, they're attacking Russia because Russia's not led by gays. So is Ukraine going to attack America? The answer is most definitely yes, they are. It's in the future, within 5 years. Certainly, I've seen Ukraine, Zelensky, make a nuclear threat to America. This is about 7 months ago. I reported it straight away. The corner shops, eggheads, the Banglas, the dark Indians, you can call them the Dark Ages if you want. I mean, so they're the pear drop group, okay? And then they want to kill, want to create the Dark Ages in Europe. So there's no more white people, no more churches, no more universities. Everyone's starving to death. People killing each other. Right? That's what you call anarchy. All right? And anarchy is basically suicide. All anarchists are suicidal. They're always cutting themselves, and then they kill themselves. Thank God. Right. So the eggheads are the corner shops and the chicken shops. And guess what? they are running the schools, and they're planning to pair drop thousands of blacks into England and kill the British people, especially the kids, because they're killing British society, and that's how they do it. They kill the kids. That's what Ian Huntley does. That's what the death of Maddie McCann's all about. All the kid deaths in Britain, it's all about that, all coming from eggheads. It's a fingerprint if they killed a kid. You know who's done it. Okay, so now Judd Charlton, Northern Irish, he is the chicken shops. He is the corner shops. His group are the upper classes, punks, a piss attack, PUNK. Corner shop people, dark Indians, they are leading the punk movement. Okay, they've just done the Southport murders. That's actually led by dark Indians, and it's a piss attack by the upper classes, gay community, PUNK punks. And we know that the head punk is a guy called Sid Vicious. He's also one of the eggheads. Right? His best mate is Judd Charlton, who's then abseiling down a cinema, right, just before 9/11. And he then kills Princess Diana, then does 9/11. He's that AC Me Demolition eggheads, okay, done 9/11. And then after that, they plan to pair drop. And Judd Charlton, head of psychiatry, he's abseiling down a cinema, insinuating that he's going to pair drop into Britain. It's actually psychiatry. I joke you not, it's organised, named by the psychiatry department that are the low life in the upper class group. Not all upper classes are like that. Some upper classes, like the Royals, for instance, dedicate their life to the middle and working classes that don't think about the upper classes at all. So they're the most wonderful people you could meet if you're a middle and working class people, because they will help you. They've got money and infrastructure actually to help you. They do this every day. You don't really know this, right? So the upper classes, Arthur Scargill, you might remember him. He is the upper classes, but again, he's one of the upper classes that love and respect and want the best for the middle and working classes. Okay, so King John is like that. He's my dad. He's also related to Arthur Scargill and the Churchills. So we're the Churchill family, and we dedicate our lives to the middle and working classes. So do the Royals. However, in the upper classes, there are a group that hate us all. These upper classes, in the corner of the upper class, they're a witches group. They are the chicken shops. They're the corner shops. They're doing a pair drop. They're actually a witches group. They're not British. They're from Germany. And then even in Germany, these witches are planning to pair drop thousands of Africans into Germany in a pair drop attack. German witches are planning to pair drop thousands of black Africans into Germany to kill the German women, all organised by German witches. Those German witches hate Germany. Can you not see that? It's very easy to see. So where are these German witches from? They're actually clones of African pygmy cannibalism. Okay, I'm an anthropologist. I know what I'm talking about. I can't go into detail now. This article's too long, and we have to finish up now. Thank you. Okay, this is very important. The KFC and the chicken shops, your franchise chicken shops, they are, as you explained, they're eggheads, and the dark Indian corner shops. Now, they are highly, highly, highly anti-Semitic. Okay, the reason they're anti-Semitic is because the Jewish people revere and equate to women's equity. They want women to have equity. They want them to have freedom in speech, free speech, and everything else. They're very attractive. They should be allowed to be free, but they're not, because eggheads are gays and they cannot stand pretty and attractive women. That's your upper classes doing that. All right, now the upper classes, the bad corner of the upper classes, extremely anti-Semitic. Actually, those upper class corner of the upper class they're actually witches from Germany. Very anti-Semitic. Again, they hate Germany as well, especially the German women. German witches hate German women. These German witches are actually clones of African pygmyism, and cannibalism is their preference. Right now, they're in Britain and running pretty much the Christian church, and then all these outlets such as the chicken shops, the corner shops. Okay, they're very anti-Semitic, and they're actually leading the corner shops. I joke you not, are leading the Ukraine army. They put in Zelensky. All right, the corner shops. Let's not forget they own the banks. Notice how the ATM machines in all the corner shops now. It's because the corner shops stole the banks off the Queen and the King's people. We'll talk more about that later, but that's why you have ATM machines in corner shops, because they're stolen the banks off the British and Dutch people, because they're not Banglas and dark and Africans. And the most important part of this theft is they've stolen it because the banks are owned actually by Holland that reveres women, Amsterdam. All right, so the Jewish people, they also revere women, and so does Russia, and so does America, Britain too. But it's decaying. It's getting very attacked. Soon Pear drops. All right, so that's Ukraine doing the Pear drop. So yeah, British and America need to go to Ukraine and address that problem. So Judd, head of psychiatry, he's paragliding down a cinema. He's referring to in about the year 2000. He's referring, he's head of psychiatry, my friends, and he's referring to pear drops for Britain. So those dark Indians are planning to paraglide thousands of black South Americans into Britain to kill us. And that's a reality show. It's not a joke. It's not hearsay. It's certainly not mental illness. We have evidence for this. Okay, evidence. I'm a police investigator and a historian, anthropologist, and I've looked at all the details, even the Holocaust, and from a detective point of view, and the facts come out very different. Okay, all right. So we talk about this later, but this is all about now the chicken shops, corner shops. As you can see, they're very anti-Semitic. They're running Zelensky. Zelensky's attacking Russia because there's a lot of Jewish people there. So Zelensky is also playing a Holocaust all over Europe and America and Russia. So it's another like outrageous, horrendous, diabolical premeditation to attack the West, and something much worse than pear drops is what Ukraine-Russia war is about. It's actually, first it's Russia, next it will be Italy, then it's Germany, then it's Poland, then it's France, and then it's Sweden. And then before all of those countries, England gets attacked, and America, actually, by the farming industry, pear drops, and Zelensky. The corner shops and the chicken shops are pear drops, planning to do something diabolical. And for that premeditation, definitely get life in prison. All right. So the corner shop and dark Indians that lead the anti-Semitism. They run anti-Semitism in Europe and America, actually coming from these Banglas and dark Indians. They're eating shit, piss, and female menstrual blood, mixing it in a bowl and eating this regularly. It's their tradition because they hate God and especially pretty women. Right, so these chicken shops and dark Indians, they're up to be deported now because in investigation, they've got to go to prison. Okay, so anybody else English does something like that, they're going to be staying in Broadmoor for the rest of their life. So what do we do with these dark Indians that are the worst criminals that we've ever seen? So we have to deport them. Right, they're criminals, and we need to organise their deportation, getting the British Army, anybody else who we need to assist and get that done. We're not having pear drops here. We certainly don't want Silence of the Lambs. We don't want these chicken shops, and we don't want Banglas attacking Pakistanis. Pakistanis brought here to counterattack witches. Witches are the Dark Indians. That's a witches group. It's Germany, actually, German gays. They also hate Germany, the German gays. They're killing Germany as well. Germany is in a right state right now. So is France and England and America. So King John is the St. John's ambulance service. King John adopted me. He's my dad. Right now, the Bangladeshis threatened to firebomb my flat. All right, because I'm into music, anthropology, medicine, and biology, and I invented the ketones diet too. And these dark Indians and witches have stolen it all off me. That's £9 billion, my friends. We're owed £9 billion. I gave a lot of it to Tommy Robinson. I'm a head of the Pakistanis, by the way. So I joke you not. In the reality show that this article and these articles are, and a lot of people's journalism, they are also reality shows, and they're very good. Okay, so psychiatry, head of psychiatry is Judd Northern Irish, the ACME demolition that did 9/11, and now he's abseiling down a cinema, right? He's doing that. I don't know why he's doing that. Well, we know why. They're pear drops. He's Zelensky. Judd Charlton is also putting Zelensky. Psychiatry has put in Zelensky. Psychiatry is a gay community. They're attacking Russia because they're not led by gays like England is. Certainly, America is actually also led by gays. In Britain, that is. The gays in Britain have just trashed America like you've never seen, especially poor California, Miami, New York. All right? Now they're getting attacked by the eggheads. We've explained they're the South American, the dark Indians, and the pear drops. The psychiatry department in Britain and America are planning to pair drop thousands of blacks, right, into Italy, Germany, UK, France, Spain, and Sweden, Russia, and America. And they're starting this war by brutally killing Russian people, is to start this whole thing off. And the head of psychiatry is planning to abseil thousands of blacks into Britain. Is a reality show. It's not a joke. It's actually MI5 information. Over and out. So a bit more about Dr. Desai, the chicken shops, and the dark Indian banglers in the hospitals. They killed my dad. They used poisons and gave him severe dementia and Alzheimer's disease. He had at least another 10 to 15 years left in his life, and he's now been murdered over about a year ago. I'm deeply devastated. I love my dad so much. Right, they also killed my stepdad. That's my mom's husband, Bill. He was also murdered. They killed Bill's best friend, Roger Lloyd Pack, who's playing Trigger in Only Fools and Horses. He was a long family friend of ours. Again, he was murdered a few years ago. Okay, they've been spiking people with poisons, giving them aggressive cancer. And without question, they've targeted my mum, my whole family, actually all the royals as well, all the politicians, all the media people, all the people in TV, all the people in movies, all the musician stars and comedy stars too. And then also staff of shops, female staff, people in the fashion industry, anybody on the telly, all being targeted by these Bangladesh corner shops, the chicken shops that have killed all these people.